Hi and welcome to TI Project HX. This is a brief video presentation to guide the user through the download, installation and opening process for the unrestricted version of the application. An additional resource on this topic can be found on the resources page of the website. This is a PDF document named TI Project HX Installation and Opening Guide. This guide provides some additional information about the file structure of the application and some recommended Excel and Windows settings. I'd also recommend checking out the TI Project HX Quick Reference Q&A guide. This provides some brief answers to some of the questions you might have about the scope and operation of the application. The installer package is found on the download page of the website and is a multi-volume executable archive stored on a Google Drive. At first it may appear that the download process is hanging. This is not actually the case, but is part of the process that Google Drive goes through to check for viruses and to zip the file prior to initiating a download. As this is a multi-volume executable archive, the Google Drive checks will fail, after which it will present an advisory message dialog to the user. Simply click Download Anyway to continue with the download. After downloading, click on the installer package to start the installation process and simply follow the prompts. This will create a subfolder named TI Project HX within the user's login profile folder. This is the destination for the application and various system-related files. A shortcut icon to the application will also be placed on the user's desktop. You may need admin rights on your PC to install the package. To open TI Project HX, click on the respective application icon located on the desktop. When the Excel security notice displays, you will need to enable macros for the app to function. Before continuing, it is helpful to understand how the application is protected from unlicensed use. The app itself is locked to the user's PC, so it can only be opened if an appropriate license key has been installed or if it is still within its trial evaluation period. When opening without the appropriate license key, a message will be displayed which shows the current trial evaluation status as well as the computer ID. If the user wants to purchase a license key, they simply email this ID to support@tiprojecthx.com, from which the respective key can be generated. Once the license key for the PC has been installed, the opening process will simply bypass the evaluation time period process. When opening for the first time, there will be a couple of pop-up messages that require user input. The first of these is a message to advise that certain folder paths will be reset to the user's installation folder. Click OK. The second message gives the user the option of two different menu selections. The default selection for this is the full menu. However, if you do not want the full functionality and only want to use the app for tube sheet mapping, one would select the TSD only option. This option will then only display those menu items that are specific to tube sheet mapping. Once selected, click OK. It is noted that this menu option can be changed at any time after opening the app. I would just add that the tube sheet mapping of this app on its own is a very cost-effective alternative to, say, a program like Tube Pro. It's time to give a demo of the opening of the app. In this case, there is already a license key installed and the app has been previously opened. So you will not see any of the opening messages previously discussed except for the Excel security notice. Okay, let's open the app. Over to the icon, double click. Okay, it brings up the Excel security notice. We need to click enable macros, otherwise the application won't function. It'll still open up into the app, but it simply won't function. Okay, once this particular form loads, it means that the app is fully open. In many ways, this form is at the core of the app, providing the interface and functions that are needed to set up and manage a tube inspection project. There's much to unpack in this form, so I'll cover this in another video. There are two ways to close this form. Typical way is to use the save and exit button down the bottom right hand side of the form. This will save whatever is currently in that form. Alternatively, you can simply close off the form by using the X button at the very top right hand side of the form. This will close the form but will not save whatever is currently in the form. It'll simply close the form off. So I'm just going to save and exit out of this, and we're just going to talk briefly about the Excel interface itself. So across the top, at the top of the Excel window, we've got the ribbon. So we can click on any of these. They'll bring up the different sort of functions that you can have, under each of those tabs. For the TI Project HX menu, we just jump to add-ins, and we've now got the full menu of the app. Now, if I wanted to change the menu to a TSD only menu, I'd go into Preferences, come down to the bottom left-hand side of that form, click on TSD only, and save and exit, and you can now see we've got a completely different menu. It's just a subset of the full menu, and it's only got functions which relate directly to tube sheet mapping. I'm going to jump back to the full menu. The other thing which is quite useful is the quick access toolbar at the top here, just customizing it so you can actually automate some of the tasks rather than have to jump through various menus to do those same tasks. So for example, I've got a symbol up here. I can just simply create a new spreadsheet just by clicking on that. If I want to close that spreadsheet, just click this symbol here. There's a bunch of other symbols. If I want to close down Excel completely, I would close it using X at the top right hand side. So what this does, this performs a couple of things. If I'm closing it down, it will basically perform a number of save actions for the actual app itself, and it'll clean up certain things within Excel, like it'll basically reload the it'll unload the actual app menu and just reconfigure Excel back to its normal sort of place. Another thing which is helpful, if you come down here to the help menu. So this opens up a folder which contains a number of quite detailed guides, which I think can be quite helpful to the user for getting a better understanding of the operation of TI Project HX. So in a nutshell, that's just the basics of the interface and the menus. There's actually a lot to unpack across all the different options available in TI Project HX, and they will have to be a subject of another video. Anyway, I hope this video was helpful. I'll catch up with you in the next video. Thanks for watching.